I see trees of green, red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I say to myself, what a wonderful world.
To be here with you today and see all of these connections in person. Thank you each for making the time, braving the street closures and the rainy weather to be here. I've asked a few people from different parts of my mom's life to come up and say a few words about her in that era and their relationship. So I'm going to start with my Aunt Barbara Alvarado, my mom's college best friend and roommate. Here from Madison, Wisconsin.
I'm so honored to be here. I think some of you know me from way back when at the Catholic U campus. I was Barbara Merkin back then. And Jacqueline asked me to say a few words about our college life together. So it was back in September of 1966. If you want to make the reference, it's almost 60 years ago. Patty and I were both freshmen. We didn't know each other. We lived in one room of Reagan Hall at Catholic U, and it was our first night away from home. And I looked out at the door, it was like 10 o'clock in the evening, and nobody's light was on except Patty's. So I went across the hall, and I knocked on the door, and we immediately became friends. And we stayed friends ever since then. Patty and I soon decided that we were in single rooms and that wasn't going to work for us. So we got our friends together and we moved my bed and my dresser into what was her room. And so we had 2 beds and 2 dressers, and the other room was special. because it became our study. We had easy chairs, we had a guitar in there, we had desks set up, bookcases, and besides being our study, it kind of became the hangout for all of our friends at Catholic U. And for the next 4 years, we were official roommates then. We had a great time. We always supported each other. We had a lot of fun together. We studied together. We stayed up late nights together. One thing that was crazy back then, we would basically pull all-nighters. And we're like, oh, we're so tired. Well, we better get dressed up to go to class because that's going to make us feel better. I don't think it did anything for our exam grades, but we felt good.
In remarks, but I brought my tissues up here with me this time. Oh, thank you. Next, Beatrice is going to come up. Beatrice Reyes, who many of you know as a student, but also someone so important in my mom's life as she grew up. This is a little more complicated to describe because you had such a special relationship from the time you were a little girl, becoming mom. Uh-oh, I've done it. Beatrice, we're not going to make it through this. And also Beatrice cared for my mom so lovingly in her final months. And I've got the tissues here for us. Anyway, I've asked Beatrice to talk a little bit about that special relationship.
I'm sorry. It's hard to know that she's not here with us anymore. But I thank God for giving me the blessing of meeting Dr. Kelly. She is a woman with a heart of gold. She got this letter saying that she was a woman with a heart of gold, and it stick to me. And I was like, yes, that's what she is. She's a woman with a heart of gold. We met years ago when I was in 3rd or 4th grade. She was the principal at Lakeview Park Elementary School. And the memory I have about that is that I don't even know why, but I used to enjoy going to the principal's office to help out for recess every day instead of going to recess with the kids, but I don't know. At this point, I don't know. Jackie, right from the start. Jackie was saying, "Oh, I hated that." I said, "I love that." Yeah, it was. I really enjoyed that, and that's where everything started. She would tell me to come over, and I was just doing paperwork. I don't know. She would just make me do things. Then I had to go back to my country when I was 10 years old. And we, at that time, we lost touch. But then God, in His perfect timing, brought us back together. I came back and got in touch with her thanks to her secretary, Mrs. Martin. I remember going to the school because I was looking for Dr. Kelly, and the only way I thought I was going to be able to find her, I said maybe someone at the school still knows her and is in touch with her and will help me. And yeah, there she was. I really even remember her because she was the secretary at the time when I was still in. So I gave her my information. She gave it to Dr. Kelly. Dr. Kelly called me and we got back together. Yeah. From that moment on, she welcomed me back into her life. She also embraced my children too, with the same love and warmth that she once gave me. She was like a grandmother. She was the most amazing person in my life. And I'm so honored that she let me stay with her those last months. For me, it was an honor when I offered. I was like, I can help you. I can be with you if you let me. And she said, yes. She was happy. And I was happy too. I was happy to be there for her. My heart is sad that she is no longer here with us. But I find peace knowing that one day we will reunite in the presence of our Father God. So today I don't say goodbye, because I know that she will forever live in my heart. I love her.
Dr. Mary Hawkins Jones, my mom's longtime collaborator and friend.
Yeah, I'm looking around the room. And I'm like, wow, how I've heard stories about each and every one of you. I'm looking at the name tags and I was like, oh, that's so-and-so. I know, well, I know this one too. And it's just simply amazing. When Jacqueline asked me to do this, I went to my husband and I said, okay, what can I say? I have tons of stories that I could talk about. But the one thing that kept coming to mind is authentic relationship. With each and every one of us, she was able to develop an authentic relationship. We could all stop right now and say, yep, she was there for me for this. She was there for me for this. For 35 years, she has sent me a birthday card. For 35 years, she sent me a Christmas card. Now, I don't know when this woman had time to do this, but she found the time. For 35 years, she sent me a Thanksgiving card. I just told Jacqueline I keep going to the mailbox because I'm looking for that Thanksgiving card. She took time out to make each and every one of us feel to be that special person. And I am so grateful to have had someone in my life that took the time out to say, I see you. As an individual, I see you, and I want the best for you. As an educator, I would not be where I am today if it was not for her. In 1990, she hired me. I came into her office with my southern accent, you can still hear it. I came in there and, I told her, she asked me, she said, why should I hire you? I said, because I'm great. I was like, yeah. She said, oh, well, if you're so great, what can I do for you? I said, you're going to make me even better. I said, because I know a lot about you because I've asked around. My uncle at the time was working for Prince George's County, Earl Hawkins, and he had told me, he said, if you get with her, he said, you're going to be outstanding as an educator. He was absolutely right. Because of her, I have spoken locally, nationally, on every type of stage. She made sure I got there. When I became most hopeful teacher in America, we went to Oklahoma. I was going there, my husband and I. She was not supposed to be there. I look, and who's getting off the elevator? And I said, why are you here? What? And she was like, you think I wasn't going to support you? She said, I've gotten you this far. I got to keep carrying you through I was like, wow. She came all the way to Oklahoma to be there with me. In Omaha, Nebraska, we were there. She was there with me. And I am so grateful for the authentic relationship that we had. It is, I have to tell this story. Dr. Body is here. And I remember when Troy was hired and he was a brand new teacher just like I was. And Troy eventually went through the ranks. He became a vice principal, assistant principal, and then he became Dr. Kelly's director. And he had to do an observation. So I ran to Dr. Kelly. I said, Troy gonna observe you? She said, yes, isn't that amusing? And I was like, I just have to ask, you gonna use the red pen on Troy? And she said, if it's necessary, I shall. But that's who she was. She cultivated each and every one of us to be the best that we could be. and even greater. Because she saw even more. I never expected to be where I am today, but she saw that in me. And she pushed me, literally. My name is Dr. Mary Hawkins Jones now, because she made, when I quit, I literally quit. I was like, I'm done. I can't do this doctorate thing. And she said, now, tell me why. I said, I'm just tired. She said, so then take a rest, and we will start again. And I'm like, we will. She made sure I got to the finish line. She attended my dissertation. I had text Jacqueline and told Jacqueline about it and everything. And so she told her mom, she said, well, Mom, I'll see you there. She said, you will? And she said, yeah, on Zoom. I'll be on Zoom. I'll be there too. She drove to Frederick in person to be there with me. When everyone saw her there, all of my professors said, you're chapter 1. You're the first paragraph of chapter 1. I couldn't talk about relationships and where I had been as an educator without starting with Pat Kelly. So I am grateful to have her in my life, and I know each and every one of you feel the same way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary. You've always been an incredibly hard act to follow, and I'm so sorry, Caroline. This is Carol Lang, a fellow Montgomery County principal, and also my mom's post-retirement adventure buddy. I talked to the more recent years.
Thank you so much. It's an honor for me to bring up the rear here. There is nothing left to say after listening to the most hopeful teacher in America, and I didn't just make that up. But Mary really summarizes for us all why Pat Kelly was such a fantastic educator from the get-go, and why all of us that had any connection with her during her years in the county always learned something. We always benefited from it. And Pat and I lived in Montgomery County for probably 20 or 30 years before we ever met. But Pat was a principal on the east side of the county, and I was on the west. So how did we find one another and be valued friends for the rest of Pat's days? Well, we met at central office in the middle. And we both had principal trainees, and we were on a special assignment in the special education department. And we worked there on our project, but we had a little more time flexibility. So if you know Pat, she was always ready to go out to lunch. So we would go out to lunch and we would chat and talk, and she would inspire me with all of what she was accomplishing because she was such a committed educator, every bone in her body. Later on, when we finally got to that point of retirement, then we were very, very good friends. We had traveled to educational conferences together. We were, as you know, Pat was the consummate rule follower, so we went to all of the sessions. But if there was free time, sometimes if we weren't going to the Rock and Roll Museum in LA or Alcatraz in San Francisco, you might find Pat by the poolside with a book. One of her favorite pastimes for always, I think. She was a person who was so devoted to continuous lifelong learning, which is what she expected for her staff, for her colleagues, for her students, that all benefited from her wisdom and her courage, her strength of conviction, and her own knowledge of best practices all the time. And Mary, if you think that you have heard about us, we have heard about you, and you have got some story. So Pat was rightly proud of all of those people that she mentored, and many of you are here today, which is the ultimate testimony. But what did Pat do once she finally retired? Well, she was a long time continuous learner. So we got together and we would go to Oasis programs. We went to Montgomery College. We were always trying to learn a little bit more. And we also decided that we needed to move more. So we signed up for exercise classes. And our current yoga dance instructor is here because we had a lot of fun in the last couple of years doing yoga dance. Now, I also said to Pat at the time, because we would, of course, go to lunch with the catalog, pour over the offerings, and we would trade back and forth what we were going to participate in. Number one, Pat always attended all of John McCarthy's lectures on the rule of law in Maryland and in Montgomery County. She was a devoted follower of his programs because Pat was a law and order person. And she had her own rules for her life, as we all well know, too. So we would enjoy those sessions. We would do a number of different exercise classes. But at the time we signed up for yoga dance, I said, "Oh, Pat, this cardio drumming course sounds interesting." "Oh, no. No, all of that pounding and banging, I don't think so. I wouldn't like that at all." So we bypassed cardio drumming. But then the next time, Pat came around and she said, "Maybe we could try cardio drumming. I might be able to do that okay." Which of course she did, because Pat also loved music. And we enjoyed a number of classes devoted to music, musical theater, film, but one particular class that we took was with Daryl Davis. And if you don't know about Daryl Davis, he is a local musician who is extraordinarily talented. Pat really liked him. So to bring this around, back to where we're standing right now, Daryl Davis was going to perform right here at Hollinger's. And so Pat, who was also committed to her community, she really wanted Silver Spring to do well. And she was concerned that this was an empty space for so long after Ray the Steaks closed. So she was thrilled to get the notice that Hollinger's was going to open here, and she really wanted it to be a success. And I think if what I have heard is accurate, and I'm sure it is, that many of you have been here on a Sunday or an evening with Pat. So she was a one-woman supporter of the success of this enterprise because of her commitment. So I would say, to summarize, an unbelievable life that touched each and every one of us so personally, that inspired all of us for so many different reasons, that Pat was a committed person who believed in supporting her family, her friends, her colleagues, her students, her community, and each and every one of all of us, her BFFs.
Thank you so much, Carol. And then we'll have our final speaker, Patty Marks, is going to come up, who I think many of you know, and say a few words.
Hello, everyone. It's so good to see so many friends from Langley Park, the students, beautiful students that are here from Langley Park and Greenwood Elementary. Dr. Kelly was my greatest mentor. She made me the teacher I still am today because I still tutor. And my fondest memories were those of Langley Park and Greenwood. She provided all the necessities to that community. Food. She had a food area, a clothing, and especially the love that she provided to all the children of the Langley Park and Greenwood and Westover communities. She got things done. Dr. Kelly was definitely a doer. She expected excellence from everyone, and she gave the same excellence all around. She reached out to all areas, especially the business area, and got money for everything. The teachers at Langley Park, we went to Texas and San Francisco, all over the United States, talking about looping and the experience that we had at Langley Park and things like that. We even published in Educational Leadership. She provided so many opportunities for all of us. Bring on the eclairs and the cannolis and the Pepsi. Instead of coffee for breakfast, you would see Dr. Kelly in her office with a Pepsi. But after her Pepsi fix, she would send her good buddy, John Haslinger, to round up the kids because she wanted perfect attendance at Langley Park. So she would have him daily go to each and every house where the kids were kind of being truant, maybe, and get them to come to school. She was amazing. She loved journaling and writing and probably had the most beautiful handwriting you've ever seen in your life. Is that true? Her legend will be felt forever. I miss you, Dr. Kelly. You will never, ever be forgotten.
Thanks, everybody. So a couple quick announcements, and then maybe we'll do a quick toast. So please feel free to have some more food, have another drink. I guess I should have told you that before we were going to toast. And please feel free to come up and take a look at the memories or write any memories you have here and post them up. Take a pen as you're here. But we'll just do a quick toast. So I want to... Sure. Yeah. Alex, come on. This is Beatrice's oldest, Alex, who I've known since he was born.
Hey everybody, I know this is my first time seeing almost everyone here. I'm sure this is your first time seeing me. Maybe some of you have heard about me, I'm not sure. I know Dr. Kelly to a lot of you was a principal, maybe a teacher, a friend, a colleague, but she was more than that to me. She was like family. And honestly, for me, the definition of Dr. Kelly when I think of her is just love. I grew up not really surrounded by much love, but as far as I can remember, Dr. Kelly has always shown me love since I was a little kid. I remember being a kid, and my mom and I would go with Dr. Kelly because she would take us to eat sometimes. And she didn't have to, but she just did it out of the kindness of her heart. And we would play a game because I was a kid, maybe like 6, 7 years old, and she would be like, how long do you think it's going to take us for us to get to the restaurant? I would say 10, 15 minutes. She'd be like, okay. And we would see how long it would take us, and sometimes I would win, sometimes she would win. Because at this time we wouldn't use GPS, we wouldn't, And I think someone mentioned Dr. Kelly always sent out cards or whatever it was for holidays or whatever the case is. For us, for me, my siblings, my mother, she never missed a birthday, she never missed a graduation, a special event, nothing, never, not even for like my siblings' pets. she would even give gifts for the dogs. She always took everybody into consideration. And like I said, like I know a lot of you maybe know her as a colleague, but to me she was kind of like my grandmother. I know it's probably weird because I've probably never seen any of you here. You're like, who is this guy? He's talking about her like you know, like their family. But I feel like she was my family, and I know she was always there for my mother. I don't know everything they've been through, but from what I've heard, like Dr. Kelly is just the most amazing person I would say in my mother's life, and she is one of the most amazing people in my life. And one thing I'm glad is I got to tell her that before, you know, before she left us. So at least I'm okay knowing that she knows I loved her. I'm the type of person who doesn't really express how they feel, or I don't really cry either. Like this, my sister's probably seen me cry like 2 times my entire life. But this one hurt, and I just wanted to come up here to let everybody know. Cause yeah, Dr. Kelly's, I'm sure she was an amazing friend, colleague, principal, tutor, mentor, everything, but she was an amazing family member, and she will just always forever, I know, be in my heart, my sister's heart, my brother's heart, my mother's heart. And she was just honestly one of the greatest people I've ever met in my entire life. And I don't even have to think twice. I just know to me, she's the definition of love. She's never, ever shown me different. And I'm just so grateful I got to experience her. And that's all I can say right now. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. All right. Sure. All right. We'll do something a little bit. But these are like incredibly beautiful. It's wonderful for me to hear them. Reggie Lewis.
My name is
Still
Reginald.
introduction, probably the most people
I'm
here.
Reginald Lewis, and I was counselor at Greenwood Elementary with a very good friend. I see trees of green, red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I say to myself, what a wonderful world. She made it a wonderful, beautiful world for the children, for the students, for the staff, and God knows for me. Thank you all for showing up, and I know this is her words, but just loving on Pat. Cards from her every year. I had hair when I was so just an amazing trip. She truly made it a wonderful world.
That was a perfect conclusion, so let's just raise a glass and thank you so much for that, Reggie. Here's to my mom and her legacy and everything she accomplished, but also to each of you who, thank you.
What do we not do?
But also to each of you who made my mom's life what it was.
Thank you.